I'm not being facetious. Well, President Harris led this effort to make things better.
Documents that, the classified documents that were found at President Biden's library from his time as vice president.
Oh my gosh, I think we need to investigate the Bidens nonstop. I've been very vocal in impeaching Joe Biden, and hopefully we can get that done this Congress.
Welcome to Key Stock and Crypto channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And guys, we had stocks and cryptos up. The CPI numbers came out. The yield rates went up, and then all of a sudden got pushed down, and stocks got a lift, and then also crypto started to move up. And now we have more entertainment on its way. We have special counsel named to probe classified documents found in Biden's private home and office. And guys, we know it's nothing but a movie series. Now we have Hong Kong stocks up for 3 weeks in a row. And we have Hong Kong launches a Bitcoin futures ETF tomorrow. And also we had Amazon partnership with Avalanche. So we see crypto moving on over into the legacy market. Now we have Nike CEO tout strength and China's Gen Z shoppers. And guys, we know they love basketball, love the tennis shoes, love the expensive bags, the makeup. And we know the emerging markets are about to be lifted out of poverty. Now we also have Goldman Sachs as Asians tech is about to rebound. And we see all over the media, they don't want you investing in China because of the China tensions. But we see all the big corporations definitely taking advantage. It's not like you can't get in and get out. I'm not your financial advice, not financial advice. Please do your own research. But what do I teach you guys? Follow the money. Now we have JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, Bank of America. Who benefits from these high rates? And we know the Fed are going to keep these high rates. Once the Fed gets to about 5 to 6%, we're going to stay there. It's going to be a normal rate for a while. And we know why. They want to crush this legacy market so then therefore they can bring on the robots, algorithms, and drones. Make sure you go watch the Crypto Teacher channel. That's my main channel. So therefore you understand what's going on. Now we have LuLuLemon's partners with NetApp to advance RFID technology across stores globally. And guys, they're using the cloud for real-time data. And we know retail stores are all about inventory. So therefore, they'll get a real-time look at what the inventory is. And don't forget, over in the emerging markets, they can go inside of a store, see an item, buy it, and it gets shipped to their home. And if you're a store, you know what's selling and what's not selling. So therefore, you can stock up stores what's needed, take things out that's not needed. And it will definitely save money. Remember, technology can be used for good or evil. Unfortunately, this also tracks you. Remember, the fourth industrial revolution is all about data. And guys, we know how big gaming is. But guess what? It's going to get even bigger. And it's going to change the reality for Generation Z and the millennials. Because not only is gaming going to be interactive, all of your TV shows, your movies, you're going to be able to interact with these characters. So from a few years from now, guys, majority of TV shows and movies, they'll be 15 minutes to 30 minutes. No more hour and a half to 2 hour movies. And gaming will be the gateway inside of the metaverse. Now, guys, we have Exxon predicted the global warming. And we know Exxon is the Rockefellers. And because John Rockefeller had so much influence, also JP Morgan, we see them in our education, our work environment, the politics, the money. They can predict things because they already did the research. We should have never been on oil for energy, but that was the only way they could take over the globe. They made trillions and trillions of dollars pumping oil. Now they're going to make trillions and trillions of dollars getting us over to clean energy. And guys, is clean energy really clean? No. Because we know all the commodities that the kids are digging up in the emerging markets, which should be illegal, those carbon emissions are not included. We know the global warming agenda, and that's to keep the masses in a small area. And so therefore you can be easily controlled. Now we have Netflix gets an upgrade. And don't forget Netflix deal with Microsoft. And remember what I told you. Movies and gaming are about to intertwine. It's going to change everything for the millennials and Generation Z. When you're old like me, it doesn't matter whether you're conscious or not. It's just certain things you're not going to participate in because you know better. Now, getting over into the indicators, guys, as CPI numbers, like I stated, yield rates rose and then they got pushed down, and we saw stocks and cryptos move up. And then also we had the dollar down, and we haven't seen it at 102 in a long time. The dollar is definitely getting weaker, but we're going to have the Fed and the central banks meeting February and March. So the fact is that the dollar is going to keep its strength. But going towards the end of the year, I definitely see the dollar getting weaker, and these commodities are going to start picking up steam. And then also cryptocurrencies are going to pick up steam because they're going to start flipping the switch on the fourth industrial revolution. Remember to go check out the Crypto Teacher channel. And then, of course, guys, we had the VIX, which dropped as yields were dropping. And we know that's about to change in a couple weeks. So make sure you keep an eye on the VIX. But guys, that's all I have for you. Have a wonderful day.
Well, let me get rid of the easy one first. People know I take classified documents and classified information seriously. When my lawyers were clearing out my office at the University of Pennsylvania, they set up an office for me, secure office in the Capitol. The 4 years after being vice president, I was a professor at Penn. They found some documents in a box in a locked cabinet, or at least a closet. And as soon as they did, they realized there were several classified documents in that box. And they did what they should have done. They immediately called the archives, turned them over to the archives, and I was briefed about this discovery and surprised to learn that there were any government records that were taken there to that office. But I don't know what's in the documents. My lawyers have not suggested I ask what documents they were. I've turned over the boxes. They've turned over the boxes to the archives, and we're cooperating fully with the review, and which I hope will be finished soon, and there'll be more detail at that time.
Our team just got off the phone with a senior official at the Department of Justice weighing in on this point, that we appear to be able to confirm that that is correct, that a third discovery was a single document. According to this official to Fox News, the DOJ just found out about that one this morning, and it was found at his residence.
Of Robert Hur as a special counsel pursuant to Department of Justice regulations governing such matters. In keeping with those regulations, I have today notified the designated members of each House of Congress of the appointment. I'm joined today by John Lausch, the U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Illinois, who conducted the initial investigation into the matter that I will describe today. On the evening of November 4th, 2022, the National Archives Office of Inspector General contacted a prosecutor at the Department of Justice. It informed him that the White House had notified the archives that documents bearing classification markings were identified at the office of the Penn Biden Center for Diplomacy and Global Engagement, located in Washington, D.C. That office was not authorized for storage of classified documents. The prosecutor was also advised that those documents had been secured in an archives facility. On November 9th, the FBI commenced an assessment consistent with standard protocols to understand whether classified information had been mishandled in violation of federal law. On November 14th, pursuant to Section 600.2b of the Special Counsel Regulations, I assigned U.S. Attorney Lausch to conduct an initial investigation to inform my decision whether to appoint a special counsel. On December 20th, President Biden's personal counsel informed Mr. Lausch that additional documents bearing classification markings were identified in the garage of the president's private residence in Wilmington, Delaware. President Biden's counsel informed Mr. Lausch that those documents were among other records from the period of the president's service as vice president. The FBI went to the location and secured those documents. On January 5th, 2023, Mr. Lausch briefed me on the results of his initial investigation and advised me that further investigation by a special counsel was warranted. Based on Mr. Lausch's initial investigation, I concluded that, under the special counsel regulations, it was in the public interest to appoint a special counsel. In the days since, while Mr. Lausch continued the investigation, the department identified Mr. Herr for appointment as special counsel. This morning, President Biden's personal counsel called Mr. Lausch and stated that an additional document bearing classification markings was identified at the president's personal residence in Wilmington.
What's happening is the documents are the beginning of the unraveling of the entire Biden, basically, criminal family operation. First of all, the documents are going to lead you to the University of Pennsylvania, where the Chinese communists gave millions and millions of dollars. They refused to open their books. The president of the University of Pennsylvania got to be the ambassador to Germany. People like the Secretary of State, the current president. Biden got $1 million for 9 appearances. We have no idea where all the money went. We have no idea what the influence was. But it's ironic that some of these documents were found at a University of Pennsylvania office. Second, this leads you right back to Hunter Biden as the bag man, because the first wave of documents included documents about Ukraine at about the time that Hunter Biden was getting hired by Burisma, the Ukrainian energy company, largely because he was the son of the vice president. So that's going to all be wrapped up together. And then finally, this makes an absurdity of the attack on Donald Trump. The fact is, Biden can't tell you, and they've said this openly, he has no idea who had the documents. He has no idea what documents we're talking about. Now imagine, we're talking about very secret documents which the current president of the United States openly says somehow somebody somewhere got them and they took them away, and he has no clue, which also says to me, if the FBI were serious, they would be looking at all of Biden's multiple homes. They'd be looking at all of Biden's offices for the last 10 years just to figure out what else is there out there that we haven't seen yet.
And
this
also
is not going to go away.